Hello, it's me, Lord.
Gotta what I'm doing.
Today we are going to see if Nintendo is trying to sell us the same game again, or if the new Mario is actually different from the previous entries. We all know what Mario is and how to play it. The new game is the 14th Mario in the series. First of all, when I compare the previous entries to the new one, I'm only talking about the 2D games. I'm not including Odyssey, Sunshine and other similar 3D Mario games. And secondly, I've played the original Mario on the NES, Mario on the DS and Mario on the Wii U, so I'm comparing the new game to them. I remember when I played the previous ones, I couldn't help but feel that each one was basically the same Mario as the one on the NES. And I didn't really like them, even though I gave them a chance, because everyone loves Mario. Yes, I'm just a sheep. All the games in that series were monotonous and boring to me. So when I started the new one, I expected more of the same. A 2D platformer that's only fun to play with friends in split screen. And I was wrong. But let's take it one step at a time. New graphics, of course. But in this game not only the quality of the images has improved, but also the design of the game itself. From the interface design to the art style. I'm not an artist or a designer, so I don't understand it professionally. I just like the look of this game and I like it more than the previous entries. Next, a lot of new mechanics. In the previous entries, it felt like the gameplay was the same. Sometimes new enemies or mechanics were added, but usually there were very few new features, and basically all the entries played the same. And although Nintendo did make minor changes to the game, in reality, Nintendo turned the gameplay on its head in the new entry. For example, they got rid of the timer. Remember when you started a level, you'd see a countdown, and if you didn't finish the level within the allotted time, you lost. Well, that's gone now. Play how you want, for how long you want, and do whatever you want. Finally, I can just stand there and think about a puzzle or a difficult spot. There is no one or anything forcing you to rush through the level just to make it to the end of the timer. And it's just perfect. But it's too bad that they didn't add a statistic for the time spent on each level after completing it for competitive gamers. So normal people would play at their own pace and competitive gamers would measure the timer. Do you want to see my timer? By the way, you won't even have to rescue the princess this time, because Bowser has stolen the whole castle. This guy doesn't swell the small stuff. Now we have to get it back. But we can not only play as Mario, but also Luigi, Princess Peach, Toads, Yoshi and others. And the point is, if you're playing with a little kid in co-op, you can pick the Yoshi character for them. And then they won't take any damage. But they won't get any power-ups. On one hand, that's great, because now if you're playing with your little brother, he's not going to fail your level by dying all the time. But on the other hand, Nintendo, what are you doing? You're making people too weak. Because when I played with my older brother on the NES and lost, he just beat me up. And look how pretty I've become, even though I'm only 13. After the cutscene where the castle was stolen, the king who lived there asks you to return it. You appear on the world map and begin to choose different activities. These can be minigames, a shop or full-blown levels, and they differ in gameplay. In minigames you have to do something small and fast, and in levels you have to complete the level. Unbelievable. However, the levels in the game are also very different in structure and type. Let me explain. There are more varied enemies now, like those bulls that run at you until they hit an obstacle and get stunned, trampoline hippos that roll around the map and fall into a hole when you hit them, allowing you to use them as trampoline, or squirrels that shoot backwards and run away with a funny face. Also, there are now levels with depth, which means you can now use a pipe to move not only up and down, but also closer and farther, which is basically the same thing, but visually makes you think there is more variety in the levels. Also, the levels themselves are different. There are classic levels, there are levels like racing, or riding bulls through the level. I want to say that the developers really work hard on each level, so that they were all very different in gameplay and not boring. On top of that, the developers went even further to make the levels not boring. They decided to make the levels even more varied within the level itself. In the middle of the level, you will find these flowers. If you touch them, you'll be transported to a parallel dimension where conditions of the level will change. For example, you'll run on invisible platforms that you can only see a few meters ahead. Or trampoline hippos will appear all over the level and you will have to navigate between them. Or all the toothy flowers will start singing in a choir. In short, the very essence and idea of the level will change completely, turning the entire gameplay of the level upside down for a few tenths of seconds. And there is one in every level. And it's just brilliant. In fact, I'm amazed at Nintendo. They're now creating such a beautiful art style and also working so hard on the gameplay in all their games that no one can compare to them. And somebody says that Switch is weak and useless console? Also, this feature is not mandatory. If you don't want to go through parallel dimensions, that's fine. Just don't pick up the flower. Yes, then you'll not get a miracle seed, which is needed to open new locations with levels. However, you will usually need about the same amount as you would get just by completing levels. Although I highly recommend that you collect those miracle seeds anyway. Of course, you saw that a new power-up has appeared. That turns you into an elephant that can hit with its trunk, collect water and spit it out, which will help stun enemies, and you can also use it to water flowers that give you bonuses when you interact with them. The squirrel power-up that allowed you to glide to the ground has been removed. And instead there are bonuses that you can find and take with you around the levels. Again, such as being able to glide in the air, or bouncing vertically off a wall, or getting a power-up at the beginning of the level. And there are many more. And they all slightly change the gameplay so that you can play in your own style. This is the first 2D Mario game that I've really enjoyed, and I can tell you for sure that it's completely different from the previous installments. Much like Zelda Breath of the Wild is different from all the previous Zeldas, which only makes it more interesting. Again, while other companies are doing the same Call of Duty or Assassin's Creed campaigns, Nintendo is not afraid to experiment. So I can definitely recommend you to buy this game. I'm sure you'll like it, and if you've never played a 2D Mario game before, this is the best place to start. And if you have, get ready for a new and more exciting experience. And remember, the princess is not in a different castle. It's the castle in a different princess. What? Who wrote this shit?